I want to share with you the importance of balancing the brain and integrating both hemispheres, so the right side and the left side. Sometimes people think that it could be that potentially a person may be overly emotional, and that would be the right side of your brain, and that could be the problem. But the reality is that you can also be too much on the left side of the brain too, which is that problem solving, logical thinking part of the brain. So it's really important that both parts of the brain are integrated in a healthy, balanced way. And that is one of the things that makes EMDR very useful. So again, it just rolls off my tongue, but it's a mouthful. Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. So basically that means bilateral stimulation. So your eyes are tracking something. It could be many different modalities that you're tracking, but your eyes are moving from right side of your brain to the left side of your brain. Your face isn't actually moving, but your eyes are crossing that midline of your corpus callosum, in case you were wondering, but that is the bridge between the two parts of the brain. And so if you can see, hopefully you can see this slide here that I'm sharing. It talks about the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere and what can happen if it's a little too leaning in one direction or the other. So I'm just going to read that. So this is called The Divided Brain by Ian McGilchrist. And here it says that in the right hemisphere, you see the big picture and identify potential sources of threat, allows us to feel more emotionally connected to ourselves and others, harbors traumatic memories, allows us to scan the environment. Too much right brain activity leads to emotional flooding, so which means like emotional overwhelm. And now I will read the left side. I don't like just reading to read, but it is somewhat helpful. So the left side says, the left hemisphere, focused and narrowed perspective, lets us see what is directly in front of us, allows us to detach from distress and the past. Too much left brain activity leads to emotional disconnection. So this goes to show that sometimes intelligence, problem solving, reasoning can be somewhat of a defense mechanism, so you don't have to emotionally connect to something that may feel uncomfortable. And there's no right or wrong here. It's just a physiological response. It's a physiological defense mechanism. So that's the beauty of understanding the brain a little bit more, is hopefully it helps people understand that they're not doing anything wrong. There should be no taking the shame away from, I'm broken or I'm not doing it correctly, because that's just not the truth. It's just, this is the way our brain responds when under any kind of distress. So it's just sometimes there's more of the left brain way of doing it, and sometimes there's more of the right brain way of doing it. And doing bilateral stimulation and EMDR really does help you integrate and balance a much healthier, adaptive brain, responding in much healthier ways and connecting with the world socially, emotionally, and intellectually. So if you have more questions, ask below, reach out to me. I'll put my website down in the box. Please subscribe, like, I guess that helps. And donate, because as you can see, I could use some lighting help. My lighting is not great. So, all right, much love.